guys. So I wanted to do just a super short video just to kind of talk a little bit about baby sign language. So with Arden, he does have a tracheostomy, obviously, and with that, he typically has the cuff up. And so it's a little balloon that sits around the tube that's in his airway at all times. And so that blocks a lot of air from flowing around there. So with that, Arden hasn't been able to vocalize much since he was born. Obviously, he went through, being intubated, he went through having a scuba BiPAP mat, and then he got his tracheostomy in August of last year. And so for Arden, speech has been delayed because he hasn't really had the opportunity to vocalize, just because of the mechanics of the things that were helping him to breathe. So we've been putting Arden's cuff down a little bit more, so meaning there's less sterile water in that balloon, so he's actually able to bypass some air around his where his trach tube sits in his airway. So with that, he's been able to vocalize more. He's making a lot of sounds. We're really encouraging that, and we're hoping that sooner or later here he will be able to speak and he will be able to share some words with us. But until that point, we really want to support his communication because Arden is so smart. Obviously, I'm his mom and I'm really biased and I think he's super smart. But he does a really good job of communicating his needs to us just with his body language. So we've started teaching him some ASL signs. So I just wanted to share some of those with you guys. Obviously, we have been starting really slow, kind of going pretty simple with them and just using them in the context of play and our daily routine and that kind of thing, just so that he uses them in a meaningful way. We're not just teaching him to rote memorize signs at 16 months old. We want him to use them in context as well. So one of the big ones that Arden uses regularly is more. And more often relates to food for small children. For Arden, he's fed by G-tube, so that doesn't really apply to him. But he uses it a lot for toys or getting different things that he wants. For example, we'll have him on the swing, and when we stop the swing from going, he'll sign for more. So he tells us that he wants more of that. He's enjoying it. So that's really cool way for him to communicate. Can you show more? Good boy. Another one that Arden's been using a lot lately is sleep or asleep. And he uses that whenever he hears the word, really. He's really great at that. If we're reading a story and we say somebody's sleeping or they're asleep or they're going to sleep, he's really great at using that one. So he's picked up on that. And it's a super easy one as well. But when we tell him it's time to go to sleep, we will sign, time to go to sleep. Time to go to sleep. So that's that one. And he uses it regularly, which is really awesome. Arden, can you show asleep? Good boy. There's a couple signs that we use that Arden hasn't picked up on yet. A couple of those being mommy and daddy and grandma and grandpa. And we use those ones with him, but he hasn't picked up on them yet. But we'll continue to use them in context just so that he knows what those are. Another one that Arden has been trying to do lately is the sign for I love you. It's a tricky one, kind of. With Arden's hands, the way they are with his fingers, he does have arthrogryposis. His hands don't necessarily bend the way that typical baby hands would, and that's okay, we can improvise. But for him, we know what he's trying to do and he's picking up on it, and that's really cool for us. So the sign for I love you is like this. And so when Arden signs I love you, he often will put his hands like this, and he's trying to bend those two middle fingers down, but it's really, really tricky for him on that right hand. And he's been using his right hand for that sign. Yeah, are you showing I love you? Can you say I love you? Yeah. So we, at this point, we understand what he's saying. Obviously, if someone else saw that, they would not know what he was doing, but he's still communicating that he understands it to us, which is so awesome. And we'll keep working on those fingers for sure. See, thanks, guys. Hey, see, thank you. We'll show you some more signs next time. Okay, see you later.